Welcome to Fall Research. This slide gives you information about how to contact me, my email address, my phone number. You can text me or leave me a message. I don't always answer the phone, but I do check it frequently. I also check my email every morning and evening, Monday through Friday. I may not be checking it during the weekend, so if you have a need on a Sunday night or a Saturday night and you have a question about something that needs to be turned in by Sunday night, then please text me or call. These are your textbooks. The Essentials of Nursing Research by Paula and Beck is your text. You also need the APA guide, the publication manual, 7th edition. If you do not have the actual paper book, um, when you do quiz 1 with the APA quiz, you need to let me know because your answers will not jive with mine, so I need to know what you're using. Academic Writer also, if you have not signed up for an account in Academic Writer prior to now, that's something that you should do, and there are information on how to do that in the course information. There's a good handout from the library that tells you how to do it and answers some questions that maybe you might be having trouble and how you can work with that. This is not required for a grade, but it will help you setting these accounts up, will help you with finding articles when you start looking for them, and will help you with writing your papers if you choose to use it. This is the grading scale, which I'm sure you're all aware of. Um, the course syllabus has information about what we're looking at in this class and what our objectives are, and also gives you some more information about the grading. This slide gives you a overview of how the course is graded. If you notice, the piece that has the most percentages is the discussions. So it's very important that your discussions be done properly on time because missing discussions or being late or not following the directions for the discussions can really kind of siphon your grade away. So you don't want to do that. Quizzes are 12%. The APA paper that you will write as individuals is 5%. You'll do a research analysis of an article that I give you. You're also going to do a written literature review, which will be based on 4 articles that you and your group choose. There'll be a final presentation that will be visual and um, oral, and you will evaluate yourself for 3% of the points. The PICO paper will be 10%. The search paper is just a short paper talking about how you found the articles that you did. And then in week 5, there's a research methods class that's an online class that gives you 3%. So this slide will talk about participation, and participation equals discussions. So we will have some weekly discussions that you will be talking about something in the course, and each student you'll get a grade for your discussion. It's up to 15 points per discussion. The information will be in the discussion posts and how you should be doing this. You have a discussion rubric in the course information that will talk about how it's graded. And like I said, this is 25% of the grade. It's very important to get this all done and done correctly. So your initial post or posts Sometimes there's one, sometimes there's two, are done by Wednesday of the week at midnight. And then you will need to answer posts of two of your peers in your group by Sunday at midnight. All things in this class with a due date are due on Sunday at midnight. So for your initial posts, you must have two references for the material that you have posted. So your textbook is also always an appropriate one. Sometimes um, the course articles will be something that you can use for a reference, and sometimes you'll need to go out into um, the internet and find yourself some more references about what you're talking about here. The answer to peers does not necessarily need a reference unless it you have added new information or using something that you got from a make the textbook or something. The if you have two initial questions, they need to be posted separately. So you need one question, two references, and then another post with one question, two references. Those are for the weeks that you have two questions assigned. Some weeks you'll only have one. It kind of depends on what else is due that week. Um, it is a discussion, so you need to space your posts. You will lose points if you do everything on one day because this is supposed to be an ongoing discussion during the week. So you need to pick at least 3 different times to post this. So if you post both of your initial posts on Wednesday before midnight, then maybe do another one Thursday, another one Saturday. So space those out. Because if nobody posts till the very end or everybody posts on the first day, then we don't have a discussion here. Okay, so you will have an assigned discussion group. This one I assign, and you will only have access to your group. You will also be moderator for your group 1 week. That will be, you'll find that in a discussion group and moderator assignment in your course information, and we'll tell you what your group is and which week you're going to be the moderator. There is also a rubric there telling you what you need to do as the moderator. And a little bit more information about the moderator assignment. The rubric to look for that. I will do the first group discussion and kind of show you how it should be. You need to, on Monday of the week that you're assigned, to get on there and identify yourself and say, hey, I'm your moderator this week, and I'm going to be leading this discussion. And then you need to add additional information to the topics. You need to answer posts of others. You do not necessarily need to answer those two questions or one question that is assigned that week. You are going to be doing other things. So you can answer it if you want to. If you don't, you don't have to, but you do have to have uh, sufficient interaction with the group. So if you're the moderator, you really need to be on the discussion almost every day of the week. There are 5 quizzes in this class. They're all online. They are timed, but they are timed for, I think, 2 hours. So you have plenty of time to answer 15 questions. These are open books. You can do them in a group if you would like to, but you have to put in your own answers in order to earn a grade. They need to be done by the due date, so watch for when they are due, because you need to make prior arrangements if you're not going to be able to finish that on time. The main assignments in this class you will be doing in a group that you choose. So, um, 2 to 3 people. Um, Pick a partner that has a common goal or interest that you do. Um, so you need to, that's one of the first things that you need to do is decide who is going to be in that group. You'll find a Dropbox called Teams and Topics, and you can add your team members' names and a general topic of like what you would like to talk about. And I'll talk about a little bit more about that in the Pico area. Um, but you can also say, hey, we have 2 people and we'd like to have a third join our group, or I don't have a partner. Is there anybody else who needs a partner? That's a place where you can go and find that information and post it so that everybody gets in those groups fairly quickly. So the assignments are progressive, so you won't do them and forget them. You'll be using them that will lead up to your literature review, which is the big project of the class. For whatever topic you decide upon, you'll need to find 4 research articles about that topic. There's a lot of information in your book, and there's some in the class also of what a research article looks like. You're looking for original research, not a article where the author talks about the research of others. You want to have something where they've actually identified the problem, done the research, and then reported results. The articles cannot be more than 5 years old. They need to be from a research-based source. Um, the college database can help you with getting articles. And Google Scholar is also another appropriate place that you can find articles that are from scholarly sources. Not all of them are available, but if you see something you really like and it's not available, the library may be able to help you get that article. Okay, so APA is extremely important. Academic writer, like I said, it's not required, but it is a great idea to do because it will help you with formatting your paperwork. You do have an APA text that you'll need to be using, and in the first couple of weeks we will have some assignments that require you to use the APA text. So the literature search, just some more information about that. The Open Athens account is what you set up prior to setting up the academic writer, and Open Athens can help you find information for your research. There's a quiz. I think I already said that, using the 7th edition APA manual, and you'll be completing a paper in the first week. That paper is the only one that you will be doing independently, and that quiz is the only one that you need to do independently. Everything else you can work in your working group or another group of your choice. Like I said, there is information in the class about troubleshooting if you have a problem, or you can talk to somebody in the library and they will help you with that. So this slide talks about the PICO question. Now, the PICO question, the P stands for population of interest, I stands for intervention of interest, C is comparison, and O is outcome. So once you decide what question you would like to think about, I have an example here. So if you're interested in how you can prevent falls in a hospital setting, You could write a PICO question. Does initiating fall prevention education in an inpatient care setting decrease the number of falls compared to an inpatient setting without fall prevention education? And you can write PICO questions differently. In the guidelines, there are some examples depending if you want to talk about something like education or outcomes. There almost always every semester somebody who is interested in maternal child health does something about breastfeeding, and does breastfeeding over bottle feeding, um, immunity, um, increased educational scores when they go to school. There's a lot of things you can do with breastfeeding versus bottle feeding. Um, just any kind of topic that you're interested in, any intervention, diet therapy in cancer, um, animal therapy in mental health, animal therapy for Alzheimer's patients. There's just all kinds of things. Whatever you think of, you can find a PICO question for it. So you and your group that you choose will decide what your topic's going to be, and then you're going to work on what you want to know and how you're going to write this PICO question. There will be a Dropbox to put those in, that will come the next week after you have found your teams and picked your topic. And so you will see that. So I will give you an article to critique. And this is the only assignment that is done in groups, but does not have to be exactly the groups that you have picked for your working group. You can put two groups together or three. You can have up to 6 people in this group. And this is 10% of your course grade. I will give you an article and I will give you questions to answer about that article. Um, this is another one that needs to be done using the color of ink different for every group member. You'll do that for several of your assignments, especially your literature review. And that helps to show me who has put in what information. Um, and that kind of helps making sure that everybody is working as they should be in the group. And this is the biggest assignment. Your working group will do a literature review of the 4 articles that you have chosen and had approved for your topic. This is a 10 to 12 page paper, not counting your references and your title page. Um, there is information on how you're going to do this. This is 15% of your course grade. This is the biggest project that you'll have to do. And you have several weeks where you have a little less of other things to do, um, less homework, so that you can concentrate on this literature review. And then the last thing will be the project presentation. So um, again, there's information and there are a couple examples of how this will be done. So you'll prepare a um, PowerPoint slide or a poster slide with a condensed version of what your literature review said. And you'll just follow the template for what information should be there. This is 12% of the grade. Once you have the other things done, it should be pretty easy to move this to a presentation. There is a requirement that you also have a um, verbal or video component to this. Most people just do a recorded um, PowerPoint and add that way. But if you want to do video, you are certainly welcome to do that. We would love to watch that. Uh, there are a couple examples, like I said, of two different ones that students have done in the past. Gives you kind of an idea what it should look like. And this is just going to be a summary. It's not going to be all that information you wrote in that 10 or 12 page paper. It's just a summary. Then you will post that in the next week, and then we will all look at everybody's project presentation and we'll have a discussion about those. And so the end of this, the evaluations. So you're going to evaluate yourself in the last week of this class, and you need to talk about what you did in the group projects, what you think you did really well, and what you think that maybe when further groups you could improve on. Um, Nursing is a group activity. We don't do this in a vacuum. So it's important to learn how to work together in a group and how to work with other people. So that's kind of why we do everything in groups here. Um, and also it helps to kind of split up the work so you don't have so many things to do. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to just contact me. I have office hours. You can email me or phone me. This is just an outline to help you get started. You will have weekly announcements that kind of go over what we're going to do for this week. And have a great semester.